Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be she kept leaving me on red when I tried to set dates. Well, that's never fun. Typically, it means there's a lack of enthusiasm. When women like you, they help you get out on dates with them. And when their interest is low, they throw all kinds of roadblocks and excuses in the way because they're really not into it. It's always a good rule of thumb just to look and see if does she have like a hell yeah I'd love to go out with you kind of an attitude, or does it seem like she'd rather be doing something else? So if you're gonna be spending your hard-earned time and money on somebody, you want to make sure you're investing in somebody that actually is interested and reciprocates. Because if she's leaving you on red and not replying, she doesn't like you or respect you enough to think you're worth a reply. Maybe she's just like a cat and you're just one of her many balls of yarn that she plays with. And then when she gets bored, she just boop, disappears. So this particular guy, I answered a previous email a couple weeks ago about he was worried about being perceived as a player. And so through his email, now I can kind of understand why he's kind of getting that reputation, because he met a girl, he double texted her because he didn't wait for her to reach back out. So he was kind of impatient. He was doing things that were kind of causing her to lose interest. And then he ends up going out with somebody else because I guess he'd been on a couple dates with this girl, slept with her both times. But after that, she just became real flaky and wishy-washy, left him on red when he's trying to make a date. And so he goes out with a new girl and then posts him and the new girl on his Instagram, and he knows right away that this other woman unfollowed and unfriended him. So you can tell he kind of digitally rubbed this girl in somebody else's face. So there's a time to post other women to social media, and there's a time not to. There's a way to do it tactfully that causes a woman to wonder what's really going on, who is that? Because if you're posting a story and it's you and a girl at dinner, well, look, it's pretty obvious what's going on. But if it's a group of you and other people and there's pretty girls there and you're all, got your arms around each other, smiling, laughing, having a good time for the camera or whatever, or sitting down eating dinner, and there's girls on either side and it's just a group thing, then something like that leaves or helps you be mysterious, because then it doesn't look like a date. It looks like you're hanging out. But if women see that you're hanging out with other dudes and girls, automatically they're gonna, and especially if the girls are pretty, she's gonna be thinking, "Oh, is he fucking those girls? What's going on there?" But when you make it clear publicly that you're out on a date, if you're dating other girls, it's like rubbing another woman in a woman's face who you're dating. It usually doesn't go well. So he made some light mistakes here, but now it kind of makes a little bit more sense as to why women think he's a player, because seems like he's probably doing this often. If a girl blows him off or doesn't treat him the way he wants, he just goes to Instagram and posts a picture or a video of him on a date with somebody else. So he's not very tactful in the way he does it. It's like a big hairy middle finger. And then, of course, they're just going to think, oh, he's just a player. He's just banging one random girl after another. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hey, Coach, my name is Bob." Lots of Bobs around. "You've responded to a few of my emails in the past, including the most recent one about serial dating and how to avoid the player label. I really appreciate your insights. I'm a dedicated student of yours, and I've read your book over 15 times, and I still listen to it on Audible 2 to 3 times a year to stay fresh, and I recently joined the members-only material and find it to be very valuable." Well, thanks for joining. I'm glad to have you. It's nice that people appreciate all the extra content, that they're willing to pay for access to it. Helps keep the lights on around here. "As you know from my previous email, most of my dating happens through dating apps, but I'm now trying to shift towards meeting women in person, partly because I feel in person might also have a better pool of women. I'm actually pretty good at talking to girls, but I never had much of a reason to take those in-person interactions further, Probably because I've relied so heavily on dating apps. Yeah, it's just much easier. It's a lower risk of rejection on a dating app because you don't know her, she doesn't know you. If you screw up, there's always another one. But in person, especially if it's in your social circle, and you put your foot in your mouth or you step in your dick, it's kind of hard to recover from that because now everybody has seen that and knows about it. He says, I've done well that way, but now I'm looking to sharpen that other part of my game too. Now to the situation, which I think may relate a bit to the player label topic also discussed in the previous email. She's 22, I'm 33, and right from the first date, she said she wasn't looking for anything serious, just wanted to have fun. I knew she was dating other guys, which was fine by me. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. We went out twice and slept together both times. She wasn't chasing me or initiating contact at all, though, so I followed the book and stuck to one message and date per week. Well, it's you reach out once per week. You can go out on more dates, but she's got to be the one initiating contact in order for an additional date to happen in the same week. So typically, if a girl doesn't reach out, her interest is low, or she's structured and following a set of rules. And dating structured women is a pain in the ass. I highly recommend that you don't do it, but I know some of you guys, the thirst is real, and you're going to try it anyways. You'll try to reinvent the wheel, get all frustrated, like I once used to, and countless other clients and viewers have tried to do over the last 20 years. He says, after the second date, I waited a week and then reached out. I told her I wanted to take her out again, and she agreed, but said she was a little busy apartment hunting at the time, so I told her, no worries, when will your schedule clear up? But she never responded. Then, a few days later, she messaged me on Instagram saying, babe. I replied, asked how she was doing, and she never answered. I would have just said, hey, you, what's your figure out in your schedule? I want to see your face. That's what I would have responded. Not, how's your day going? Because that's boring. Be direct, be decisive, get right to the point. Don't ask boring questions. Sometimes if you ask boring questions, the girl will roll her eyes and not even reply. So he didn't wait for her to message, because remember, she's dating other guys as well. A few days later, I messaged her because I had some of her things in my apartment. He was looking for a reason to reach out again. That's what was really going on. Because he was bothered by the fact she didn't reach out. He was worried he was going to get ghosted. And I have to say, if he had sex with her twice and then she became flaky after the second time having sex, he might have sucked in the bedroom. Maybe that's why she wasn't really super excited to see him. Because normally, if it's good dick, she wants to get some more. But not in this case. So maybe the dick was subpar. So I reached out asking if they were hers. Since I did have a few women over during that time, I wasn't sure if it was hers. Yeah, if you're saying something like that, hey, are these things yours? So he's going out of his way to, oh, hey, I'm fucking other girls, hoping to motivate her. So you're rubbing other chicks in her face. Again, the book cautions against this. So you're just taking things a little too far. She made a joke about it and confirmed it was hers. I used this as an opportunity to ask her out one more time to a cool event at the local theater. She agreed. We went on a great date, had a great time. She loved the event, and we ended up sleeping together again. So far, so good. She still didn't chase at all, so I waited another week, then messaged her to set up a fourth date. She responded very enthusiastically to my first message, and I followed up with something like, I'm doing great, wanting to see you, with a smirk emoji. How's your week looking? And she left me on red again. That just shows she's not super excited. Again, maybe it was subpar dick. Usually if the sex is good, usually they're excited to see you again. At this point, after 2 separate times of being left on red, 3 if you count the time from Instagram where she initiated contact, I decided to stop reaching out completely. I went full no contact. She continued to view my Instagram stories, especially ones where I was out at cool spots with other dates. 2 weeks went by with no contact. Then a few days ago, I got a haircut and posted a story. I used to have long hair, but I cut it short, and I got a lot of positive reactions from my women followers. She was one of the people who liked the story. The next day, I went out with another girl to a rooftop bar and posted about it. I travel and go to a lot of cool spots frequently, so I'm very active posting stories on Instagram. The latest story showed me and the girl I was with and some friends we bumped into at the rooftop bar having a good time. Right after viewing that story, she unfollowed and unfriended me. So if it's a group picture, you should be okay unless you and the girl are all over each other holding hands and it looks like you're on a date. Remember what I say? What does James Bond say? Gentlemen don't kiss and tell. Operational security. Let them wonder. Let them be mysterious. But when you're actually posting the women you're out on dates with, yeah, it's probably a bad way to go. But at the end of the day, I mean, she wasn't really showing enthusiasm. She's kind of being structured. And it looks like your interest is a little low. So the bottom line is that picture pissed her off. Whatever was in that Instagram story, the way she saw that was like, oh, he's dating somebody else now. Oh, screw him. Sometimes you'll see girls that'll unfollow you like that, and you'll think, well, that's the end of that. And then a month later or a few weeks later, they'll reach out to you. And you're like, well, that's weird. So they were unfollowing to see if they get a reaction out of you. So now I'm wondering, was this just a typical emotional reaction from her? Is it related to what we talked about as a player perception? Well, again, you're posting many stories on your Instagram about you and other girls. So you're openly broadcasting to the world that you're a player in essence. Because again, gentlemen don't kiss and tell. If you're posting a girl to your Instagram stories, that should be a girlfriend or somebody you're serious with. But if it's just a group of guys and girls hanging out, she doesn't really know what, one way or another. But again, if it looks like it's a group or it's, everybody's on a double or triple date or something like that, again, that's the only thing that makes sense for why she unfollowed you. Plus, I mean, really, who cares? She wasn't reaching out that much. She wasn't really doing anything to move things along. And like I said, I suspect the sex wasn't very good. Because instead of becoming more enthusiastic and excited to see you after you slept together, she became more distant and harder to get out on a date. Like I said, we always had great dates, and she never really threw off any red flags. She seemed stable, though I suspect she may have not had a father figure in her life, and she mentioned she had never been in love before. I'm left wondering if this was just her being emotionally reactive, or if there's something else going on, like the player label backfiring on me. Well, again, I'd say it's pretty obvious the way you're using Instagram. So it must have been something about that picture. It looked like you were on a date or a double or a triple date with other couples. And she's like, oh, well, I guess that's why I haven't heard from him, because he's with that girl now. So that would make sense. That's why it's better to be mysterious and just go no contact. Again, dating is like tennis. You hit the ball over the net and you got to wait for her to hit it back. If you message a girl and she just leaves you on red, you're not going to do anything with that. You got to wait for her to reach back out. But again, when a woman does that, shows a lack of respect and a lack of interest. So you bottom line the actions. Her actions are not the actions of somebody who's super excited to see you and spend time with you. I usually have a good sense of how things will unfold, measuring interest level. Hers was likely not higher than a 6, though. Yeah, I'd agree with that. She liked you enough to sleep with you, but after that, she really couldn't have cared one way or another. But this one left me a little confused since I did everything right. Again, the social media thing, you're using a little too much to rub women in the face. Again, nobody should be able to tell if you're out on a date or not. It's just well, there's always pretty girls around. What's going on there? I'm, of course, still dating beautiful women, but would love to hear your thoughts on this one that seems to have gotten away. Thanks again for the great guidance you continue to provide. All the best, Bob. Well, Bob, I think if you just cleaned up your Instagram stories, I think that might be a big part of what is contributing to the player label, is because you're broadcasting that you're out with other women all the time on dates, it seems like. Again, because we just got the evidence here of what you're posting. So if there are other women, it needs to be in a way where it's, I guess it could be, you want her to think, are those coworkers? Is he out with his sister? Bunch of female friends? Were they out and just got a group picture with a bunch of people they know? Again, if you're holding hands and you're kissing and you got your arms around each other and you look like a couple and you're broadcasting that, that's terrible operational security. Because again, women are going to be able to go through your Instagram profile you're dating. If they see all that, think about how it looks. If you're going to have other women in your pictures, you want women to infer things from that, but not be able to really see any evidence. In other words, you want them to see with pretty girls, but not look like you're fucking them or you're on a date or that you're a couple or whatever, or that maybe one of them's your girlfriend or your wife and you're just cheating on them with other people. So you got to think about how you're being perceived. So if you got a question or challenge and you want to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab or coaching tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website and book a coaching session with yours truly. If you haven't already signed up for our exclusive premium members only content, in the video description is video. There are links to join on YouTube, or you can join on Spotify, or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Just click the plans tab when you get there. And the good news is with a website, you can do a 7-day free trial to check out what content you get for your money. And if you choose an annual plan, you'll get a 25% discount for paying the whole year's premium upfront at the end of the 7-day free trial. So go to understandingrelationships.com, click the plans tab, sign up for a exclusive premium members only subscription today. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.